Finally, some news that I think could change everything. It's no surprise that Disney and Lucasfilm are often all about announcing projects to get shareholders behind something, and then those projects never come to pass. How many canceled video games have we seen? How many canceled movies and shows have we seen? So when we finally get news about things that have just been on the works or been on hold, it's a big deal. But there's a reason I think the new news regarding the KOTOR remake, the Knights of the Old Republic remake, could actually change the trajectory of Lucasfilm, of Star Wars, and be exactly what this fandom has needed for a long time. Now, it doesn't matter if you played the original game or even if you enjoy the game itself, because this news is something that I think could really help. Let's talk about it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Here it is. It's an article published just yesterday. It says Star Wars, the Knights of the Old Republic remake fate officially confirmed. The Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake has been on quite a journey since it was first announced back in 2021, but now it seems as though things are really finally looking up. So they had you with the title like, oh, this is for sure canceled, right? Like everything else. No, it's not. First released in 2003, the first entry of the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic series, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, or KOTOR, as it's informally known, was loved by fans. This is absolutely true. People are still even just playing this game because they love it that much. Teaser trailer we've seen from a long time ago. Now, unfortunately, things like teaser trailers really don't have anything to do with the actual game. That's part of the problem. They make these teaser trailers just really for the big events they do to hype up shareholders. That's part of the problem with this whole thing, is just the industry in general, the way that Disney operates and so many other companies operate just to get people hyped up before they've even written a script to a film, before they even really have anything for a TV show or anything really developed for a video game. They just try to hype it up, and then it's years and years and years and years in the making, and most of the time it doesn't happen. It's the same story. We've seen it again and again, but now we're getting some good news. It says this is why it was no surprise when it was revealed it would be getting a remake back in 2021. However, since the announcement, the project has received quite a few setbacks, including delays, rumored cancellations, and even a studio change-up. And that's not good. When things like that are starting to be rumored, studios changing, all of that, of course, what is our thought? It's never going to happen. It's going to go the way of Star Wars 1313. It's going to go the way of so many other things that we've hoped for, either in video games or movies. But when the remake of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic was first announced, it was revealed the development would be headed by Asper Media. And if you know anything about Asper, that's who has recently put out the Battlefront 2 remake or redevelopment or whatever it was called, and it was just a disaster. However, in August 2022, it was reported that the reins were handed over to Saber Interactive with Embracer Group, the parent company of both studios, revealing that the change was to ensure the quality bar is where we need it to be for the title. So I think this was actually a really good change, because the way that Asper has handled some of those other things like Battlefront 2 has really been poor. I mean, I purchased it, I downloaded it, and I didn't play it very much. It wasn't fun. The servers were junk. It could have been so good, and it wasn't. However, since the studio change, details have been scarce about the highly anticipated remake. That is until now. Courtesy of Saber Interactive CCO Tim Willits, we now know that the team is focused on development, and more will be shared when the time is right. So I know that this is a lot to be said just for this quote, focused on development, but you must remember, we've had no news. We've just had speculation. We don't know anything. So the very fact that CCO Tim Willits is saying this, now you could put this in the category of he's saying the right things just to say. Fair. That's possible, right? But to say that they're focused on development and when the time is right, meaning when they have a concrete probably release date or something to actually share, or they're holding that information off until the next event, that's possible. But even the fact that the CCO is commenting on it is big. And I think it shapes a lot of things. The article continues. We're almost there, don't worry. It says, although many offers very little information, it at least confirms that the KOTOR remake has not been canceled, like many fans worried, myself included. Right now, we are focused on development. We look forward to sharing more things when the time is right, reads the full quote offered to IGN earlier this week. With the remake to be set as a PlayStation 5 exclusive, we could hope to see a better update during Sony's various events. That's kind of the hope. It's just convenient timing that Sony is set to host a State of Play event later today. So here's the recap from the State of Play. Unfortunately, we didn't get anything at the State of Play. You can go here and check out IGN. It walks through all of the games that were announced, and we don't see KOTOR on here, but that's not a bad thing. Again, I think what we've seen and what we've heard is that this game is still in development, is still going to be made, and is still being worked on. And if money and resources are still being put into the game, that's a good thing. But it's not just because the game is coming out, it's a good thing. I think Knights of the Old Republic is what Star Wars needs. Let me explain. In a video recently where I talked about what I would do if I ran Lucasfilm, you can see here, I'll link it down below if you want to go watch that next. But I kind of shared one of the directions that I would go if I were engaging into some good stories, good characters, and wanting to write even new material. I would go to this era. I would build out based on what's already there and then start telling the story more. And I think if we get a good video game that people enjoy, that people love, it only furthers the idea that investigating and going to that time frame will be good. Now, some have speculated that this is maybe what James Mangold is doing with his film, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be more like, again, Dawn of the Jedi, like way, way, way before anything we're talking about. And so if we're looking at Knights of the Old Republic as a possible place to create movies, books, and more content, even maybe a TV show, I would be interested in that. I mean, I would love to see a Knights of the Old Republic movie, not like just remaking the storyline from the video games, but to do something fun. And I think that's something Star Wars fans, young and old, could get behind. I think it would be a good thing to do, and it would be something that would be far away from the sequel trilogy mess. It wouldn't have to worry about canon and lore nearly as much, because the closer you get to things like the prequels and stuff like that, you just run into so many more issues, and we saw that with the Acolyte. So that's my thoughts. I think that this could be a really good thing. This could change the whole trajectory of Star Wars. We've seen the massive success of the Jedi games, the last one being made right now with Cal Kestis as the main character there. And I think that's even brought people to say, why haven't we seen Cal in live action? And I think there's a desire there to build off something that was good in the video games that people want to see. I think KOTOR could do something similar. I'm not saying that we should see Cal in any of the movies or films that are coming out, but if there is a groundswell, really a cult following of the Knights of the Old Republic, then you have a baseline to do something great. Now, the caveat to that is you could really screw it up. You could really mess it up. And I'm sure there's folks probably in the comments right now saying, I don't want them to touch Knights of the Old Republic. They're just going to screw it up. And that's fair. I have no track record to go off of that says they would do a good job, other than the fact that I think this is an era that stories need to be told. And if we're on the same page here, that I want Star Wars to be good, I want to enjoy Star Wars, that this might be a path to build trust and bridges to fans that have walked away. I don't know. That's my thoughts. Thanks for watching. If you want to check out the video where I shared what I would do if I ran Lucasfilm, you can click right here. You got some of it here in this video, but I think you'd enjoy it. Click right there. Remember, the Force will be with you always. Thanks for watching.